Hey guys, sorry, I meant to do all of my catch-up yesterday, but my car got a flat tire, and I've kind of been dealing with that. So I'm going to get caught up now. So hopefully I'm not called away like I was last time. But we will start and we will see where we get to. We don't have very many. I think there's only 4. Yeah, there's only like 4 days because we're on 42. It's not like the last time when we had to bombard you with like 10 or more a day. It's just a few. So we only have to get up to 142 today. So just because, you know, I got behind and things like that. So day 138, the meaning of Lammas. The essential symbol of Lammas is the sacrifice. But what exactly is the nature of sacrifice? A typical sacrifice involves something or someone giving of itself for the sake of others. In this broad definition, sacrifice involves one form of energy giving itself up so that it can transform into something else. From this perspective, we can see that soil, for example, offers itself in sacrifice in order to nourish seeds. The seeds sprout, then offer themselves in sacrifice to become plants. Food sacrifices its energy so that it can become our bodies. It is this mystery of sacrifice, of selfless offering, that lies at the core of lunacy. The fact of existence is that life feeds on life. When one ponders this state of survival, naturally thoughts can lead to questioning the purpose of living itself. What is this life that feeds on itself? Perhaps it is comforting to know that you are not alone when facing this daunting reality. Since the beginning of time, human beings have struggled to reconcile human consciousness with the mystery of life feeding on itself. One well-known Wiccan principle that seems to stand in stark contrast to the reality of Lammas is that of harming none, which is the essential tenet of the Wiccan Rede, which is a rule of thumb that guides witchcraft, magic, and practice. In the Rede, witches are bade to harm none and do as ye will. However, the question remains, how can we survive without harming? Life survives by killing and eating other life. There is no other way. There are 2 principal views to be considered, the deity perspective and the mundane perspective. The deity perspective encompasses the mystical view of existence and the sacrifice inherent to being alive. In this view, there are no distinctions between life and death, light and dark, here and there. Life is one functioning whole unit. From this detached, perhaps indifferent universal perspective, there is nothing personal about life feeding upon itself. There is no harm caused to anything or anyone because nothing lives independent from anything else. In the deity perspective, there is no one to harm and no one doing the harm. When we view this same natural cycle from a mundane perspective, we label it killing and eating. But from the deity perspective, the label is removed. It is merely one of the myriad functions of existence. However, there is a matter of practical mundane perspective, which does recognize differences and can see the difference between killing and not killing. It is this realm that we live on a daily basis. From this perspective, we notice harm. So in one perspective, there is no harm, and simultaneously there is harm. In a difficult quandary for each of us to consider, and the celebration of lunacy calls our attention to this mystery and invites us to face it head-on. In considering these mysteries, lunacy awakens in us a sense of conscious living. It calls for each of us to adopt the frame of reference of a great whole as we live our daily lives and consume. When we realize that we owe our lives to the plants and animals that we consume, we open our consciousness to an enduring sense of gratitude. Practice. Pagan grace. Today, before each meal, consider the substances that are about to sacrifice themselves so that they can become your own body, your own life force, instead of thanking some notion of divinity, as you might do in mainstream religious practices. Thank the animal or plant that has given itself so that it can become you. With each mouthful, open your heart into thanksgiving. Did this practice change anything internally for you? If so, what changed? Is thanking the animal or plant that gives its life any different than thanking a god or goddess? How? Now, this is not a new concept for me. Now, mind you, I don't do it every time I take a bite, but rather than pray to God or goddess, I thank each step in the process before I eat. Does that make any sense? I think if I'm eating, say, pork or beef or chicken or turkey, I tend to thank the animal that gave its life so that I can continue to live. That's how I do it. That's how I've done it for years, mainly because when I've had Christian friends and when they pray, I don't want to seem unthankful, I guess, for the food put in front of me, but I also do not want to shirk in my own beliefs by tailoring to theirs. So I do kind of do a cross so that, I do not seem unthankful. Anyway, that's all I have for you for day 138. In the next video, I'll do day 139. And like I said, we only really have to catch up on a few videos. And I feel like putting it off would make us go back to what we were doing. And I don't want to do that. Like I said, I want to do these videos with you guys. So that's a thing. Anyway, so I will see you in the next video. Blessed be and keep crafting, witches.